Give yourself the best present this winter by finding a new doctor and taking care of all the things you've been putting off this year and actually get your annual checkup. I do this myself and I really need to stop procrastinating, and the only thing that's helped me is ZocDoc. ZocDoc is a free app where you can find and book amazing doctors online. I use ZocDoc and you should too. Go to ZocDoc.com/something and download the ZocDoc app for free. Then find and book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/something, ZocDoc.com/something.
Hi, I'm Steffany Strange. Want to hear something scary?
Hey, my sweet Strangerlings. We're heading into the holidays, and we thought you'd enjoy some nostalgia from Something Scary for the next few weeks. Longtime viewers may remember these compilations that we used to do, so we are excited to bring them back. Hope you enjoy.
My friend Zamani and I were hanging out in my house one evening while my parents were at my brother's football game. We finished up a game of patchwork when she exclaimed, "Lissy, we should play Bloody Mary." She was into all those creepypastas and urban legends, but games like trying to call forth entities like Bloody Mary where you chant into a mirror scared me. Even the possibility of seeing Bloody Mary in the mirror, or worse, being dragged inside of it, was terrifying. But then she double-dog dared me, so I had to accept. We headed towards the bathroom, her slippers slapping next to the squeak of my wheels against the hardwood floor. Stopping by the bathroom door, Zamani picked up the wooden cross on the wall next to a family portrait. "You'll have to move that for now. There's no way Mary will come with that there." I took the cross from her and put it in the nearby linen closet. I slowly opened the bathroom door, as if I expected Mary to be there, waiting for us, wielding her axe. My heart was already thumping. We entered, closing the door without turning on the light, so we were in total darkness. Facing the large mirror over the sink, we held hands and chanted, "Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary," 12 times. We paused before the 13th, which would complete the incantation. I whispered, "Do we really want to do this?" I could sense Zamani's grin as she laughed and cried out, "Bloody Mary!" And nothing happened. We waited. Still, nothing. Relieved, I swiveled back for the light switch when Zamani grabbed me and whispered, "Lissy, she's here." But there was nothing in the mirror, or at least it was too dark. I couldn't even see our reflections. I flipped on the light, looked back into the mirror, and gasped. Zamani didn't look like, well, Zamani. In her reflection, her eyes were black, soulless orbs, freckled skin now sickly looking and flaky, and that smile, more like a grimace stretching across her face, almost reaching her ears. Gone were her jersey and cutoffs, replaced with an ill-fitting white dress. White, but stained with vast and ever-growing patches of red blood. I screamed in panic. The door wouldn't budge. I looked at the thing in horror, saw it whip its head to me. I began to sob, sure I would die of fright if it didn't get me first. And then I bolted upright in my bed, as if ripped from a nightmare. It was nighttime. Had it all been just a dream? Despite my fear, I knew I had to check. As I headed to the hallway bathroom, I stopped by the linen closet, chilled to find the cross in there. I rehung it, angled inside, closed the bathroom door, and turned on the light. Psyching myself up, I turned around and stared into the mirror, only to see my so-called bad dream replay in the reflective surface. Zamani with black, soulless eyes. The maniacal grin stretching her face, the blood-stained clothing. I froze in terror, transfixed. Only this time at the end, my possessed friend stabbed me in the back, literally. I slumped forward, scrambling for purchase on the counter, expecting to see blood, feel pain. There was nothing, only shock, as I rubbed my eyes, and the vision was gone. The mirror only reflected my own terrified face. Whimpering, I somehow made it back to my room and fell back into bed. Then, I abruptly woke up again. Only this time, it was morning. The smell of coffee and pancakes from the kitchen, my parents and brother getting ready for school. I rolled upright and gasped as a sharp pain in my back took my breath away. I pulled at my nightshirt, looking in the nearby mirror hung on my closet door. There, exactly where I'd been attacked in the dream, was a new inflamed reddened scar. If the wound was real, then that meant... The house line began to ring. My mom answered, then called out, "Lissy, honey, did Zamani sleep over? Her mom is on the phone and very worried. She didn't come home last night."
In January of 2013, a young woman named Elisa Lamb flew to Los Angeles from Canada and checked into the Cecil Hotel. She was first placed in a hostel-style room, which she shared with another guest. But after 2 days, the front desk got a call.
Hi, I'd like to make a complaint. The woman I'm sharing a room with is acting very odd. I don't feel comfortable. Is there any way you can move her?
So Elisa was moved to a room of her own, and that was the last time anyone saw her. During her trip, she kept in frequent touch with her parents back home. But when they didn't hear from her when she was supposed to be leaving Los Angeles, they became worried and called the LAPD. Around the same time, the front desk kept getting more complaints.
The water pressure in the shower is so low. The tap water is all black.
So a hotel staff member went up on the roof to inspect the water tanks. He noticed that one of them was open. He looked inside, and that's when he found Elisa floating in the tank. To this day, nobody knows how she got in there undetected. But there are a lot of theories. See, Elisa had bipolar disorder and depression and was on prescription medication to help keep her in balance. She kept a blog where she wrote about her struggles with her illness and seemed to be very open about it. The most logical conclusion is that Elisa was off her medication, broke from reality, and drowned herself in the water tank. Another theory is that she was playing the elevator game. The elevator game is a ritual that originated on a Korean website. When performed properly, you can supposedly be transported to another dimension. In order to play, you need a building that has at least 10 levels. It's best played at night since you need to be completely alone. You enter the elevator and go to different floors in a particular order. Once you reach the 5th floor, a woman will get on with you. Whatever you do, don't look at her or speak to her. She isn't human. When you reach the 10th floor, you exit the elevator and enter a new dimension. You will still be in the hotel, but only you exist. Be careful. In this dimension, your cell phone won't work, and you may feel disoriented and even faint. If you wake up without taking the proper steps to come back to our world, strange things may happen. So what does the elevator game have to do with Elisa Lamb? After news spread of her bizarre death, a surveillance video from one of the hotel elevators went viral. It showed Elisa acting very oddly in an elevator, pressing random buttons, talking to seemingly nobody. Was she playing the elevator game? The Cecil Hotel has since rebranded itself to Stay on Main. They can change their signs, but they can never change what happened within its walls.
Andre worked as a tester at Razer, a premier gaming company, which meant he got to spend hours every day in what they called the dungeon, gaming and giving feedback on the latest technology. One day, his colleague Sarah burst in with some new gear. She explained Razor was trying to get a big contract from a Korean company. They had sent over a pair of awesome VR headsets for a new horror game, and the monsters were terrifying. She wanted Andre to check it out.
"Oh, too scared to play it yourself?"
Andre teased. "Yes," she declared. She told him to record his feedback for her in the reaction video as he played. She'd check out the footage when he was done. Andre set up the camera, the game, and placed the fancy new VR helmet over his head. The screen went to a pop-up window that was full of what looked like wingding text scrolling on its own. The window suddenly disappeared and was replaced by another that read, "Installation complete." That was weird. Andre had never seen that code before. Suddenly, he was immersed into a 360-degree view. He was in awe of how vivid the graphics were. He jumped at the sound of an alien-like clicking noise behind him. He laughed at himself for being scared and noted the realistic, creepy sounds of the audio. After messing around with the character mechanics, he made his way through the first level. He spent a few minutes running around the labyrinth of corridors and the abandoned psych ward looking for a key. But soon, he began to feel sick. Like motion sickness, maybe? He hadn't ever had that before, but he was nauseated and sweaty in the tight helmet. His vision began to blur, and it all felt so real. As his avatar rounded a corner, a vent above him dropped down, slamming him in the head, throwing him to the ground. He looked up with a dreaded fear into the dark shaft. He screamed as a monster swung down out of the vent rapidly and jumped onto his character. The beast pressed into his chest with claw-like fists and burrowed into his character's body. The creature then began to eat his character from the inside until there was nothing left but his character's still beating heart. Andre could barely breathe. It all felt so real. As his character respawned, he suddenly heard Sarah shouting, "Andre, are you okay?" Sarah panicked as she pulled Andre's helmet off his head. He was laying on the ground in a pool of sweat, and he had a small cut on his forehead. Andre accused Sarah of pushing him over. She told him that was ridiculous. She only came to check in on him because she hadn't heard any feedback from him. Andre looked puzzled. "I only just started. You have to give me a chance to play through the game." Sarah told him it had been 24 hours since she had first dropped off the gear. At once, they realized Andre had been in a trance playing the game all night. Andre, still feeling queasy, said it felt like the monster was really digging into his chest. Although he did find one glitch. He could never seem to get the pause function to work. Sarah told him he should go get some sleep. She would look into the pause glitch. As Andre was packing up to leave, his coworker Jay asked if he could try out the new VR. Andre told him to knock himself out and headed to bed. He was headed back to the dungeon the next day when Sarah frantically pulled him into her office. "There's something very wrong with the game," she said in a hushed tone. Sarah explained she noticed something foreign in the code, almost alien. And after yesterday, she went to watch the reaction footage of Andre playing. Sarah played him the footage. He saw himself with the helmet on, and when the vent swung down, Andre was knocked to the ground as if he was really hit. Then, when the monster jumped on his chest in the game, it seemed like there was something moving inside Andre's body. It looked like a bulge was running under his skin, pushing through first in his stomach, then up to his chest. No wonder it felt so real when the monster burrowed into his character. Something seemed to be trying to break free from the game world. Andre was terrified watching himself. He wanted to know what the company had to say about this. "That's the thing," Sarah explained. Sarah had done some research, and the company was shut down 2 years ago for unethical testing. She had guessed the cut on his head came from something that actually hit him, and that the pause button might not work if it wasn't a game. "You can't pause something that's real," she whispered. We have to destroy that headset. In that moment, Andre remembered that last night Jay had asked to use it. Sarah and Andre ran to the dungeon. There was no sign of Jay. They were relieved, hoping he had gone home last night, but when Andre went to pick up the headset off the ground, he was horrified. Laying there was Jay's still beating heart, pulsing in a pool of his own blood. Whatever was trying to escape the game was now free.
Don't wait for Santa or the Grinch to let you know if you've been naughty or nice. Start breaking your bad habits before January 1st and be nicer to yourself. Our sponsor today, Fume, can help with that. And they look at the problem in a different way. Not everything in a bad habit is wrong. So instead of a drastic, uncomfortable change, why not just remove the bad from your habit? Fume is an innovative, award-winning flavored air device that does just that. Instead of vapor, Fume uses flavored air. Instead of electronics, Fume is completely natural. And instead of harmful chemicals, Fume uses delicious flavors. Start the holidays off right with the good habit by trying Fume and go to tryfume.com/scary by getting the Journey Pack today. Fume is giving listeners of this show 10% off when they use the code SCARY to help make starting the good habit that much easier. Start the good habit at tryfume.com/scary to save 10% off your Journey Pack today.
Thanks so much for listening. Like and share if this video gave you the chills. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell for notifications. See you next time.